Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff,
And I'm Linda.
and welcome to the VAPI Fireside Chats, where we talk about the paranormal by the side of a campfire. I'm going to pose a question to Linda, and she's going to pose a question to me, and we're going to see what the response is. And we invite you to join us in the discussion down below in the comments. So, Linda,
Mm-hmm.
today in the country, there's a lot of division.
Right.
Politics are a huge thing,
Yes.
and a lot of people are left or right.
Right.
Do you think there is another force at work here other than just something that's causing the division between mankind? Do you think people need to look somewhere else besides politics for the answer? And if so, what do you think is causing this division? And how can people resolve it?
Ooh, that's a deep one. I think there definitely is something causing this division, something that is more unseen. I believe that if we're talking about on a spiritual level, there are forces at work here that we do not see and do not necessarily always understand. I believe that the great battle going on between good and evil right now, and that battle is having more of an effect on the physical world than a lot of people would understand and a lot of people would know. Even those of us who are, aware of this battle that's going on, a lot of them don't know how it would affect our lives in our everyday lives, um, quite as much as it is. And I think a better awareness of that spiritual battle, um, the fact that we are sort of in a little bit of the end times here with crazy things going on, not just politically speaking, but crazy things going on spiritually. Um, the struggle that we go with every single day in our lives. There's a lot of things going on that people don't really quite comprehend and don't really understand. They believe this is just, maybe it's just bad luck. Maybe it's just bad things going on in my life right now. But, there's a lot that's going on that a lot of people are not aware of. And, you know, it's, it's kind of a crazy thing because from my perspective, um, I feel like I lead a very good, very blessed life. I feel like I have a lot of things going good in my life right now that other people don't have. And I'm aware of the other side of the coin. I'm aware of those people on the other side that are able to come to us and say, hey, we're needing help. We have spiritual problems right now. We have problems that we don't understand. And we're able to turn around and say, okay, we because of our strength, because of the position that we've been put in, are able to help you. But it's kind of a unique perspective on things. Not everybody has that perspective. But it's quite a strange thing to live in the world that we're living in today, to be raised the way that I was, because I have a very old fashioned understanding of life, and a very old fashioned way of being brought up with morals and values. And I think that seems to be the problem with the world today, is that people don't have this basic morals and values. They don't have this foundation that I have been brought up with, and that a lot of other people have been brought up with. There's a lot of people like us who are sitting there out, you know, in society today who are, what in the hell's going on? Like what is going on with the world today? Why are people acting the way that they do? It's basic, simple, and I would say biblical values, really. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Like that's one of the most simple ideas, and you don't even though it's biblically based, it's something that extends beyond the Bible. Even if you're not a Christian, even if you're not one of those people that believes in God, like that's one of the basics, foundations of society. You don't treat people the way that you would not want to be treated. It's a very simple thing to understand. And I think that that's the way you know, that's one of the things I was raised with, and that's one of the things that makes me more considerate of other people's feelings and trying to be considerate of other people's ideas. But I also believe in a lot of other small values and morals that I think lend to society today. Like you don't lie, cheat, and steal. Like little white lies are one thing. If you're trying to lie to protect someone's feelings, okay, yeah, I can kind of understand that. But cheating and stealing and like large lies and things that are going to get you deeper and deeper into that hole where you lie once and then you turn around and have to lie again to cover that up. You turn around and have to lie again to cover that up. That's when you know that things are going wrong. And people don't really have this sort of inner compass anymore. That's one of those things that inside you, everybody has this idea of what is right and wrong, and people just ignore it. I believe everybody has that compass. Everybody has got that thing inside them that says, okay, what you're doing is right or what you're doing is wrong. But I think that the people who go out and do things that are bad are ignoring that compass. I think they really just don't have any. And I'm not talking about serial killers and things like that that have, really kind of a screwed up mind, like their mind is not working correctly. I'm talking about just normal, everyday people.
People that ignore
So,
the moral compass.
yes, they just ignore it. They just, okay, well, my mind says to do that, or this feeling I have inside me says to do this, but I'm just going to ignore it. And I'm
Do
just
you
going to do what I want to do.
do you think there's a force at work that is somehow shading this moral compass?
Shading it?
Yeah, that's basically it's not allowing this moral compass to work in some people. Picture like an opposite magnet that's coming in contact with this moral compass and just causing it to spin wild. Perhaps in the
Yes.
form of something demonic.
Yes. Yeah, I do. And the reason I say that is because of the experiences we've had lately. When we were first starting, like when Jeff was first starting this group, when I first got together with the group, a lot of what we did was basic going out looking at investigations that were like ghosts. Like, okay, you have footsteps in the attic, you have things going on that seem more of a docile sort of nature to what is going on. Nowadays, it's not like that. Nowadays, what we do is about 90% of the calls that we get are people that are afraid. They're being scratched, they're being growled at, they have bad luck in their lives, they're wrecking on their motorcycles, like the guy last night. There's a lot of things that are going on here that seem more of a demonic nature to them. And we're being called out to these investigations on a regular basis. Now, I think that in the world today, there is a great influence from the demonic, from the devils. He is doing a really good job of trying to spread his influence over the world today. And he's bringing people to the point where they don't really know what is right and wrong. And the reason is because Satan and all of his followers are such great deceivers. They are so good at lying to people and making them believe things that are not necessarily true. I'm talking about all kinds of people in all walks of life. Every situation where you've got this devil on one shoulder, the angel on the other, and they're both speaking to you. Okay, the one that is on the bad shoulder, the bad guy over here that's speaking to you, is doing such a good job nowadays of being able to convince you of things that are not necessarily true. And I think that is the case with a lot of people in a lot of situations. And that's the problem nowadays is that Satan is really good. I mean, he's a damn good liar. He's going to convince you of things that are not true. And I can't tell you how many times we've encountered just lately people that have these spiritual beliefs and these spiritual understandings that you want to tell them, hey, you know what? That's not necessarily the right idea. Maybe that's going to lead you down the wrong path. And, but you just kind of stay quiet because you understand that people have to make their own mistakes as well. People have to go about their own lives. They have to do with their own thing. Everybody is on a ladder, okay? And some people are higher on the ladder, some people are lower on the ladder. Some people are on that ladder and the demons are there jerking at their pant legs, trying to prevent them from getting up that ladder to the point where they need to be. And that's the problem nowadays, is there's so many people on that ladder who are having, the dark forces pulling at their pant legs to prevent them from climbing higher in life, to get to the position where they need to be in life, where they want to be in life, where they don't have this bad luck and these illnesses and these diseases and these, problems in their relationships and problems in their careers, problems with finances. There's so many things out there that the demons do to try to prevent you from climbing higher on that ladder. And they've been sitting back watching you for a while, trying to figure out exactly what it is that's going to prevent you from climbing that ladder. And they have figured out exactly what they can do to keep you back. But it doesn't necessarily have to be this way. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you're struggling in life every step of the way. You can live a life that you can walk freely through this life. You can, feel the freedom that I feel. You can, walk with a confident path. And not to say that there's not ever going to be problems, because there are problems in life no matter who you are and what you believe. But at the same time, you don't have to struggle quite as much as you do now. And I think a lot of it has to do with the dark forces. Everybody's recruiting for their own army. The good side's recruiting, the bad side's recruiting. The bad side looks at the people who are kind of walking that line, and they're like, okay, these are people we can recruit. Let's try to pull them toward the dark side. And at the same time, God is sending people out to try to recruit for his side. He's trying to send people out that are going to do his work and try to bring people toward the light side. I mean, there's so much like the original Star Wars films. If you watch that and you look at it from a God versus Satan sort of perspective, everything that you would want to understand in life comes from Star Wars. Like that, if you don't believe anything else, like look at Star Wars. It's this guy's going toward the dark side. Then you've got the light side trying to pull him back this way. It's a lot the same way in normal everyday existence nowadays. It didn't used to be that way, but it is now. And it's a sad thing, because there's a lot of times when we see people who are trying to be pulled toward the dark side and we're trying to grab them and pull them back, and it's not working. A lot of these people slip toward the darkness, and there's nothing you can do but to sit there and watch them go toward the darkness, because they refuse to believe what you're telling them. They refuse to understand certain basic principles. And and they just continue to go toward the dark side. And all you can do is step back and just, hey, I'm sorry that you're going that way, but, if you ever decide that you want to come back, you want to try working toward the light side, I'm here for you. So, Jeff, I have a question of a little bit of a different nature.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm questioning is the true nature of aliens. There's been a lot of instances where people have claimed that what they've seen late at night in their bedrooms, um, you know, has been something of an alien nature. And I'm not just talking about when they come through the window with a bright light and that sort of thing, try to take them out of their beds while they're sleeping. I'm talking about things like sleep paralysis, where somebody's lying in bed and they feel like they're being held down by something in their bed, and they see these forms around them. And the forms that they are seeing are actually alien forms. They're describing what sounds exactly like the gray aliens. Now, this, of course, begs the question, um, are these aliens here because they're trying to mimic, trying to carry out their own will? Is there demons at work here that are trying to pretend that they're aliens? What is the case here with people like that? Why do you think these demons are carrying out their will in this way by pretending to be to be aliens. Um, if that's the case, like what's the nature of these aliens? Why are people seeing them when they believe that they're having these sleep paralysis sections?
Okay, so if I understand the question right, there's some people that believe aliens are perhaps us, humans, who have come back from the future, or who have escaped to another planet some time ago and developed technology and have come back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe, based on the descriptions, the physical descriptions of these aliens, that they're human by any means, because they're nothing resembling humans, other than the fact that they have 2 arms and 2 legs. But the facial features, they're straight down to the genitalia, which they don't have. They don't seem to have. It doesn't seem like they're humans by any means. So at this point, you have 2 sides to the coin. And the one side of the coin is that these are beings from an inhabited planet with advanced technology that are coming here to Earth for some reason. Now, people, at least based on our cases that have had close encounters with aliens, have had multiple encounters. You don't hear about a person that's just seen an alien one time and that was it. So this is kind of a scary thing, because for some reason these aliens are focusing on these individuals and revealing themselves to these individuals time and time again. Now, I have to say that this is probably a choice of the aliens to reveal themselves to these individuals, because with their advanced technology, how they can move about in a stealth-like manner, I could see a slip-up happening here and there where they get seen. But for the same person to see them time and time again, it's almost like they're letting this person know, hey, we're here. And for what reason are they doing that? Now, the scary thing about this is it's an invasion of free will, because these people are being taken against their will, against their consent, and perhaps experimented on by these aliens. They're given injections and they're being probed. At least, like, if you think about it, if you go to the doctor, which some people do, I don't go to the doctor, but you have a choice. You can choose to go to the doctor, or you can choose not to. These people don't have that free will. That choice is taken away from them. And the aliens are saying, we're going to take you. We're going to do what we want with you. And for some reason, we're going to let you know that we're here. So you have that factor, which is pretty scary, because we don't know how to fight them. You know, can you shoot an alien? I don't know. What are they immune to? But on the other side of the coin, you have the possibility that these things are demons. Now, people may say, why would demons pose as aliens? And that's the very thing of it. We don't know the motives of demons. We know that they want to separate us from God, and they want to lead us to damnation. But we don't have the foresight, I should say, that they have. We may look at something as simple as a ghost, the ghost of our uncle, or an alien encounter, and think of, how would a demon use this to manipulate me? And that's the very thing of it. We don't know. But they're very smart, they're very conniving, and they could very well perhaps use this guise of aliens to, in one way or another, manipulate us. Perhaps it's to draw our faith away from the Bible, away from the fact that God created mankind in his own image. And perhaps if there's other planets out there, how does the Bible apply to them? How do they fall in the realm of Christianity? Perhaps it's to cause some kind of a spiritual doubt. But what you got to look at is the response of the person to the aliens, because it's all about our response. If the response is fear, we're responding in fear to these things, like these are things that are out there that we can't control, we have no power over, we cannot fight. Perhaps the demons are thriving off of that fear, and they're using that fear to manipulate us. And once again, as I've spoken of before, they're taking that fear and misplacing it. They're placing it in aliens, and they're placing our focus on aliens. And they're causing us to question God, and where is he when these aliens are doing what they want with me? we really don't know. And it's one of those things where so much with the paranormal that I'm open to so many different spectrums, so many different possibilities. I'm open to the possibility that is life on other planets, and that these beings are traveling to Earth and in some way messing with us or experimenting with us or observing us. How exactly that fits into the Bible in the grand scheme of things, that might be beyond the realm of human comprehension. We may not be able to fit everything in that scope that we try to put everything in. Perhaps life on these planets went different than it did in man. We need the Bible. We need our faith because it applies strictly to mankind. Perhaps they have something different that guides them. Now, if they do exist, of course they are created by God, and perhaps they would have their own doctrine that they follow. I mean, it just brings about a plethora of possibilities and questions when it comes to religion. It really does. But I am open to the possibility God is wondrous, and if he creates life on Earth, he could very well create life on other planets, and perhaps those beings are very advanced and do come here and observe us. Perhaps there's something in the mind, a power of suggestion, where you have a person A that believes in ghosts and person A that believes in aliens, and when they have a vision or they have a sleep paralysis encounter, the person that believes in aliens is going to perceive it as aliens because that's what they believe in. And they think that aliens do this stuff, where the person that believes in ghosts is going to perceive them as ghosts. Perhaps it's something as simple as something that lies in the human mind, and that this sleep paralysis is some kind of a thing that does have a natural explanation. And it's our own biases and our own preconceptions that are causing us to see things that we would believe in. I'm open to these possibilities, and I really don't know the answer, but I do believe that demons could very well use aliens as a guise and a way to manipulate us, and a way to strike fear into us and to misplace our faith and our fears, and probably some reasons that I really can't even foresee, because like I said, their foresight is far superior to any humans. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the VAPI Fireside Chats. Please post your questions down below. We'll try to get to some of them during some of our discussions. I want to thank you for joining us. Until next time, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Linda.
And remember, there's much more to see in the dark.